With rain this heavy, not only are the stars clouded, so too is my spyglass hazy.
Aha! There you are! Good to see you! Your appointment with Sangonomiya is fast approaching. We should get going. Are you ready? We'll start by heading to the camp on Watatsumi Island, and then we'll go meet Her Excellency together from there. If you start to feel seasick at any point during the trip, let me know straight away. That said, you've spent time with the Crux fleet in the past, so I think you'll probably be fine. Ready? And away we go! Here we are, the training grounds for Watatsumi Island's troops. Right now, the resistance is predominantly made up of local soldiers from Watatsumi Island. Some of them are fighting with the Shogun's army in Tatarasuna, and some of them are stationed here on the island to keep the locals safe.
Did you used to train here too?
Yep. Unfortunately, I had to join the fight in Tatarasuna before I'd had the chance to impress the instructors, so they had me start off by helping in the logistics division. I'll be staying here for now. If you need me for anything, just come here. If I'm not around, just write a note and stick it on the wall. As soon as I see it, I'll come find you. Shoot! It's nearly time for the appointment with Her Excellency. I'll have to show you around Watatsumi Island some other time. For now, let's get ourselves over to Sangonomiya.
So, Sangonomiya is the name of the place where Sangonomiya Kokomi lives? Huh. Let's go check it out.
Food supplies are the absolute top priority, period. We cannot afford any losses. With the conflict between us and the Shogun's army getting more intense by the day, we must prioritize the stability of the rear guard.
Understood. I will think of a way.
Take heart. We have a fresh batch of supplies in hand, and I'm working on expanding the army. I appreciate that the lack of manpower has been hard on all of you, but things are going to get better.
We're expanding the army? Oh, that's great. Whoever this mystery supporter is, they're doing us a great service. Huh? Teppei, what are you doing back on Watatsumi Island? Might I ask who?
VIP guests of Her Excellency, that's who. I'm acting under orders to escort them both here.
Oh, really? Wait, so are you the new recruit everyone's been talking about? Strength of 20 men, splits an arrow in twain from 100 paces, skin as hard as diamond. That's you?
Seriously? What is going on with these rumors?
You've come a long way. I'm sure you must be here on pressing business, so I won't disturb you any further. Feel free to visit me if you have any time to spare. Your Excellency, I'll take my leave.
Your Excellency, I couldn't help but overhear Okubo mention something about a third-party supporter? What was that about?
Not long ago, someone wrote to me saying that they wish to support the Watatsumi Island resistance effort. To that end, they also furnished us with a great deal of supplies. Thanks to them, we can finally start recruiting troops on the scale we need to openly confront the Shogun's army on the front line. I am not without my doubts, but Watatsumi Island is hardly affluent, and these supplies are a much-needed lifeline for us. The sender's conditions were also reasonable. They simply ask us to dedicate ourselves fully to fighting against the Shogun's army. Whatever other motives they may have, we are at least aligned on this. So let's consider them an anonymous ally. Naturally, we shouldn't let our guard down. If you discover anything out of the ordinary, please report it to me at once.
Your Excellency, does this mean that the food at the front line is gonna get any better? I was at the field hospital the other day, and everyone was begging for some barbecued meat.
Don't worry. I've already made arrangements for that. Everyone will have their fill of meat. But to be clear, still no alcohol.
That's fantastic!
I understand how hard it's been on everyone. The Resistance Army's rations have barely changed at all since the Vision Hunt decree was first announced. I will discuss this with the Logistics Division to see what further improvements can be made. However, our supplies are still limited. I must ask you to remain patient until victory is ours.
When will the Vision Hunt decree finally end?
That's the question, and I'm afraid I don't have an answer. The mere existence of the Vision Hunt decree is baffling. The Tenryou Commission's attitude just doesn't seem to add up, and neither does the Shogun's. The Tenryou Commission's zealous support for the decree seemed to come out of nowhere, and the Shogun seems completely indifferent to the fact that it has effectively caused a civil war. I suspect the Vision Hunt decree won't end until these mysteries are solved. All I can say for certain is that as long as the Vision Hunt decree remains in force, we will never give up our fight. Traveler, to confirm, knowing the current situation facing Watatsumi Island and the Resistance, are you still willing to fight with us? Good. Then here is your assignment. I hereby appoint you as Captain of the Watatsumi Island Special Operations Unit, Swordfish 2.
Whoa, what? Swordfish 2? Is this the same Swordfish Special Ops unit that I'm thinking of? It's hard enough getting into a Special Ops unit at the bottom rung, let alone jumping to Captain in one fell swoop. This is incredible.
Although this appointment breaks with convention, I firmly believe that with your wisdom, courage, and strength, you can lead your team to victory.
Great! So when do we take up our post?
The members of Swordfish 2 are currently on standby in a valley to the southwest. Ronin have been causing trouble down there lately, and we need a special operations unit to eliminate them and stabilize the rear guard. I have already written your appointment letter, which you'll need to show them on arrival. Once that's out of the way, please lead them in ridding the area of Ronin. The Special Ops unit comprises Watatsumi Island's elite soldiers. They can be a little rough around the edges, but I have every confidence that you will win their trust.
What about me, Your Excellency? Any battles you need me to get involved in? I want to make a contribution to the Resistance too.
Of course. I'll arrange something and brief you shortly.
All right! One successful operation coming right up! You may have swiped the captaincy of Swordfish too, but watch this space, because this guy's on his way up!
Okay, sure. Well, be careful out there. Don't push yourself too hard. Well, Traveler, let's move out.
Faster? Okay, faster.
Shame I only get to listen in from the other side of the window and don't get to join in the debate. I'd love to give my 2 cents.
Say what? What's up? What's up? Paimon wants in.
Recently, all the customers at the tavern have been debating the exact same topic. Who is the strongest fighter in Mondstadt?
The strongest fighter? Must be someone who can floor a whole gang of hilly churls with just one punch. Then Paimon nominates you. But anyway, is there like a general agreement in the city on who it is, or?
Expecting people to come to a swift and straightforward consensus in the City of Freedom is like expecting fisherman's toast to drop out of the sky. Everyone's got their own opinion, backed up by a unique set of cherry-picked information. But let's be honest, that's what makes the discussion so impassioned and entertaining. Mainstream opinion is polarized, with most people supporting one of 2 candidates. One is the Dandelion Knight, the other is the Dark Knight Hero.
Ooh, Paimon votes for you. But let's go into the tavern and talk to the patrons. Maybe we'll pick up some juicy gossip.
Oh, I do envy your life of leisure. But don't mind me, of course. I guess I'll just get back to work.
don't get to buy new clothes often. I should really save this for special occasions.
Greetings, Traveler and Paimon. What time is it?
Are you okay, Ganyu? You were nodding off there. Didn't you sleep well last night?
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Let's discuss the matter at hand. Since last time, I've been thinking a lot about the story Paimon told me. In essence, someone rescued a drowning man and performed some music. If that were all there was to it, it could have been many people, human or Adeptus. But the tune was allegedly so wonderful that the drowning man forgot about everything else, even his own impending death, and only came to his senses after being brought to shore. Perhaps there was an adeptal power at work in that music that he, as a mortal, could not perceive. Or perhaps he sensed a power surrounding him but lacked the words to describe it, not knowing where it came from. Either way, if this part of the story is true, then the rescuer has to have been an Adeptus.
You really think so? But this story is all the way from Fontaine. Isn't this a bit of a long shot? Also, Paimon's really curious about how people from Fontaine think this fairy lady looked. Ooh, like a crystal fly's wings? That would be pretty cool. But Paimon definitely can't imagine any of the Adepti looking like that. Actually, Ganyu, if you had to save a drowning person, how would you go about it?
Huh? Me? Well, I'd get them to the shore, and then I'd probably hide behind a tree and watch them for a while. Once I was sure that they were going to be okay, I'd slip away without a sound.
Got it. So basically, Ganyu's the type of person who doesn't like taking credit for her good deeds.
No, it's not like that. I'm just not very good at explaining things. And I also find it really awkward accepting other people's gratitude.
Well, what if this Adeptus in the story had a similar attitude? That would explain why she just left without saying a word. She was probably thinking something like, one was merely passing by and saw fit to address this egregious disruption to one's graceful zithering at once. You may keep your thanks to yourself.
That was actually a very good impression of Cloud Retainer, Paimon. As far as I'm aware, Cloud Retainer isn't the most musically gifted. Still, we can't completely rule her out just yet. If we set off now, we could head to Mount Outsung and ask her about it. You'll be able to confirm either way if it's her, and I can, I've been in Lea Harbor for so long now that I'm just not as familiar with the Adepti anymore. If there's anything we want to know about them, she's the best person to ask.
Sounds great! And we're pretty close with Cloud Retainer by now, so we probably don't even need to bring her food this time, right?
I've prepared a gift for her to mark the festival, just in case. However, Cloud Retainer spends most of her days studying mechanisms in her abode. She's on her own so much of the time that the moment she has someone to chat with, she just... Never mind. I promised I'd help Mr. Dvorak, and now that I've made the contract, I can't be having second thoughts. Traveler, Paimon, let's set off for Cloud Retainer's abode.
Seems like this is a tough decision for Ganyu, but she's made up her mind now. Paimon gets why she'd be so anxious. Okay, how about this? If Cloud Retainer tries to start telling stories about her again this year, we should pipe up and change the topic. Wait, did she leave already? Hey, Ganyu, wait up!
It's shocking how much work there is to do, even for the three of us.
And she's been handling it alone all along. The Qixing secretary clearly isn't an ordinary person. It's so frustrating.
Huh? You're...
Aren't you Ningguang's servants? How come you're here?
We are Miss Ningguang's private secretaries, not servants.
Have you seen Miss Ganyu, Traveler? It has been several days since Ganyu left for Joyun Karst. She's the general secretary of the Liyue Qixing. We've only taken over her responsibilities until she gets back.
Even though the Qixing have made peace with the Adepti after the latter had denounced Liyue, they still want to pay their respects to the Illuminated Ones. They commissioned Ganyu as their envoy to deliver a letter to Joyun Karst and bring the Adepti the latest news about the crisis. Still, Ganyu should have been back to her usual responsibilities by now, but she's disappeared without a trace.
Is that so? Maybe Ganyu just took a little detour. Who can blame her after working so hard?
I'm afraid it's not very likely. Ever since we met Ms. Ganyu, she's been nothing but the most conscientious person in all of Liyue. Even when it's time for her annual leave, Ms. Ganyu stays on duty at Yuehai Pavilion saying there is still so much to do. She couldn't possibly be using her mission as an excuse to slack off.
Oh, Paimon sees how it is. But she's half Adeptus. She wouldn't get in trouble, right? Why do you look so upset?
It's because of this absurd workload of hers. When we first heard the three of us would be taking over for Miss Ganyu, we thought it would simply be a matter of changing our work environment.
We couldn't have imagined that Miss Ganyu's daily workload far exceeds what the three of us are used to doing.
Speaking of Joyun Karst, Traveler, I've heard that you can go in and out of there as you please.
Of course! We've been there lots of times.
That's good news. Could you go to Joyun Karst and find Miss Ganyu for us? Preferably before we collapse under this workload. We're saved. I remember Miss Ganyu said that she'd be visiting Cloud Retainer's abode. You might as well start looking for her there.
It's about time she came back to work. Otherwise...
No, perhaps we should go to Lady Ningguang first and bring up our overtime pay again.
So Ganyu left to visit Cloud Retainer. Doesn't she live in Mel Outsong? We should hurry up. Paimon hopes we can find... Paimon's so tired from trying to keep up. Don't either of you need to take any breaks?
I can't believe it. Cloud Retainer is not here.
Huh? Did we miss her?
She doesn't like to travel, so in the past, it's always been the other Adepti who come to visit her during the festivals. True. Now that I think about it, Cloud Retainer would be quite capable of taking care of anything on her own. There's no need to worry about her. Since she's not here, I guess the next step is to check all the other Adepti abodes, one by one.
Uh-oh. Will it involve a lot more traveling? Got it! Paimon has a great idea!
Please go on, Paimon.
Our goal here is to find the Adeptus that helped Dvorak's ancestor, right? We can't hear any music right now, but if she's really as nice as the story suggests, she'd definitely come to help anyone who was drowning, right?
Yes, I think that's fair to say.
So, all we have to do is get the Traveler to pretend to fall into the water, and the Adeptus will come to the rescue! You know perfectly well that Paimon can't swim! Paimon would sink like a rock! Just trust Paimon! The water's pretty deep over there! Quick, swim to the very center! Help! Help! Someone's drowning! If only there was a kind-hearted Adeptus here to save us! Oh no! Whatever will a Paimon do?
What is going on?
How do you feel right now?
Shenhe! And the Conqueror of Demons.
Why don't you say something? Please don't make Paimon explain it. Okay, fine. Paimon will explain. We're looking for an Adeptus who's good at being a lifeguard and playing music. But if the Adepti aren't gonna stay home, then how are we supposed to find them?
It wasn't me.
Yeah, so this Adeptus is most likely a woman.
And I am not an Adeptus, as you both already know, Traveler and Paimon.
Okay, so this is Paimon's fault. No way Paimon would have suggested this idea if she'd known how awkward this was gonna be.
Glad you're okay. As far as I know, the one you seek is no Yaksha. And one last thing. Your actions here caused others a great deal of worry. Do not repeat them again in the future.
As ever, the Conqueror of Demons comes and goes, just like the wind.
Right. I didn't dare to say a word just now. How's your training going, Shenhe? Have you made any plans for Lantern Rite? We could spend it together in Liyue Harbor if you'd like.
I had planned to spend the festival with Master this year. However...
Oh, speaking of Cloud Retainer, when did you see her last?
Earlier this morning, she set off from Mount Hulao at dawn. I noticed she was using an Adeptus art of some kind to protect a mechanism that looked like a boiler. Maybe it was a gift from Mountain Shaper. I did not inquire.
So we just missed her. Please excuse me for a moment. I think I'll leave the gift in her abode.
Sure. Thank you.
It sounds like Ganyu and Shenhe have gotten a lot closer recently.
Yes. During the summer and winter, I continue to train with Master. In the other months of the year, I have been learning to adapt to human life in Liyue Harbor. Ganyu arranged accommodations for me in the city, and also recommended several work positions for me. But when I try to blend in by referring to her as Miss Ganyu or Lady Ganyu, like the others, she says I mustn't address her like that. Sometimes I'm supposed to copy other people. Sometimes I'm not. It's a little difficult to keep track of everything. Oh, is that what it is? Noted. So, you came looking for Master today because you wanted to ask her about the Mystery Adeptus. Is that right?
Yep. Oh, speaking of that, have you ever heard any music while out training in the mountains?
Music? What is that?
It's, a kind of a happy or relaxing sound. Or, a nerve-wracking sound. Or even a terrifying one.
Okay, I'm done. I also left her a note so that she knows where to find us. We won't miss her again.
Yay! That's really helpful. Thanks!
We were just talking about this thing called music, and based on Paimon's description, I do believe I hear it every day. Please follow me.
Oh, really? Great, let's go! Person standing over there. That's Ganyu. We finally found her. Ganyu, here you are.
You two. I did not expect to meet you here. Is it official or private affairs that bring you here? I shouldn't. I have left the human world. Please contact the Yuahai Pavilion regarding matters concerning the commercial port.
Huh? You don't want to be the Qixing secretary anymore? But they're all waiting for you to come back.
That's why you're here? You want me to come back? I'm afraid you came here in vain.
What? Did something happen?
The clouds fold and unfold. The tide ebbs and flows. It was meant to be. When the Adepti entrusted humans with overseeing Liyue, I knew it was only a matter of time until I had to leave. My Adepti blood makes me unwelcome in Liyue Harbor. I delivered the letter and came back to Liyue Harbor, only to discover that I had been replaced by Baiwen, Baishao, and Baishu. Perhaps that mission of mine was just a pretext to remove me. Since the Qixing gave me a chance to leave with dignity, I decided to be tactful as well. I appreciate your kindness, but there's no need for your words of comfort. After 1,000 years away, I came back to Juyun Karst. Looking at the clouds floating among the mountains brings me peace of mind. I feel better now.
But...
Who disturbs the peace of these mountains?
Cloud Retainer, we're terribly sorry. We just...
One merely jests. One felt your presence the moment you set foot upon this land.
Wow, you Adepti really are impressive.
Come here to chat about the old times with Ganyu. It looks like you get along quite well. A matter leaves you at an impasse then. Not to worry. One is exceptional at seeking avenues for conversation. One has been one's own companion in idle talk for many a year. Yes. Since you are Ganyu's friends, tales from her youth shall one apprise you of, perhaps?
Oh, Cloud Retainer.
Nothing to be ashamed of. You were so cute as a child. One is most certain that your friends would like to hear of it.
Oh, Paimon wants to hear it!
Little Ganyu loved when the horns on the top of her head were caressed. When one was still taking care of her, one was pestered most often to touch her horns. She was elsewise loath to sleep.
Wow!
Plump she was back then. Why, when she stumbled while we ascended the mountain, she would roll down to the bottom like a little ball. The day Ganyu bumped into a pilgrim was the first time she saw a real human in the flesh. So fearful she was that she hid in a rock's cleft for 2 days and nights. One found her wailing of a monster she had seen.
Cloud Retainer? Ugh, forget it. It's about time for my training. I will take my leave.
Ah, one's intention was merely to relieve the awkward tension.
And you did the exact opposite. Impressive!
Be that so? Huh. But returning to Ganyu, most gladdened one is of your arrival. One cannot help but feel that remaining in Jueyun Karst shall not be good for her. One will tell you more about her, if you should permit it. Most benevolent among all Adepti are the Qilin. They drink only spring water and eat only whole grain. But perhaps the mountainous dwellings of Adepti in Jueyun Karst might be too lonely for her human side. Under moonlight did one see her last. She stood by the precipice's edge, and upon the mist-veiled mountains she gazed. Her thin figure was immersed in the vast sea of clouds. One noticed her loneliness, and sought to convince her to go back to the human world. But just then, she said thus.
Liyue Harbor feels even lonelier than Jueyun Karst. When I look at the sea of clouds in Jueyun Karst, I merely feel the loneliness of a solitary cloud gazer. When I step into the sea of people in Liyue, I feel the loneliness of an inhuman that doesn't belong in the human world.
One did, by chance, hear this much of Ganyu's thoughts. Alone, she will find her predicament hard to conquer. One hopes that you will accompany her.
Oh, Retainer's right. We can't leave Ganyu depressed like that. Besides, Liyue hasn't given up on her. She's got it all wrong. Anyways, what's that training Ganyu was talking about?
She has sought to reclaim her Adeptus side since returning to Jueyun Karst. At her behest, one has organized training for her to achieve that end.
She should be in the southern part of Mount Aotsong right now, preparing for the trial.
Huh, is that so? Let's go take a look then!